All right, guys. Welcome to this week's episode of Adventures of Alcaraz. My name is Julian Alcaraz.
And I'm Miranda Alcaraz.
I had like a weird intro
You were like,
start.
that was very slurry and stuttery.
It was. I was sadly confused when he threw me off from the get-go. I didn't like it. Anyway, we're on week 34 to 35.
Nope.
35, 36.
Oh my gosh.
33 to 34.
I will be 34 weeks pregnant tomorrow.
That's where we're at.
You have no idea.
34.
I'd have the baby tomorrow and you would be like, oh yeah.
There it is.
Yep. Tomorrow I'll be 34 weeks pregnant.
Okay. Awesome.
Maybe explain why your brain doesn't work.
It does work. It's a little bit chaotic for sure. There's just a lot going on. I mean, it's been a crazy week, I think, not just for us, but for a lot of people in general, and just navigating through that. On top of that, it's just the chaos combined with the chaos that's going on currently with our home remodel. And then just like, obviously, just for business owners and stuff like that, when we have a lot of people that we're kind of considering emotions, it's just been a lot for sure. We have to, canceling events. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it started last Friday when our Instagram, we talked about that, I think, on the episode maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. Maybe it hadn't happened yet. But it started last Friday when our private Instagram, we were having issues with it. And so that just, it was fine, but it was just like an annoyance that like threw everybody out of their flow. And then I feel like we always say this, but it does always throw things off a little bit, is we had visitors in town again this week.
Yeah.
We had some at the beginning of the week and some at the end of the week, and we were trying to film a bunch of stuff while they were here and do a bunch of stuff. And then meanwhile, this whole like coronavirus, we live in Washington, which is like the epicenter in the United States for the number of cases that have come out. It's like the highest by far. And so everybody here is freaking out, and like schools are being canceled and like everything. And then, we had a trip to Las Vegas, a big like meetup scheduled with our members next week.
Yeah.
And just like trying to figure out what we're going to do with that. And then of course we have summer camp coming up in 2 months. And I feel like whenever there's something like this that happens, everyone needs to talk about their feelings about it.
Sure.
And it's just like a form of therapy almost. And everyone just needs to talk about it. And it's been quite honestly like necessary maybe, but exhausting.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I got to say, I mean, I'm very impressed with like how you've been able to handle it for sure. Given that there's just like how much it's put you behind on work in general. Oh my God. But I think with everything unfolding, we've done a good job of adjusting with everything that's happening. Like you've been able to, now you're going to be able to focus and just kind of stay clear and make sure that you get really, really caught up because, obviously these trips do take a toll and our time away for sure. And even though they're special trips, but given that we're almost there, right? Like we're 6 weeks away.
Further than you thought.
Yeah, we're 6 weeks away. And so
5 to 7 weeks is what we say.
Yeah, 5 to 7 weeks. It's crazy. It's so crazy. She made a big change, obviously, because even our doula lives out of town. She lives in, where does she live?
Wisconsin.
So that kind of adds an interesting layer to things as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just keeping
With
her
travel.
in mind and travel and everything. So, again, it's all about people's feelings and emotions and how they feel about things.
Yeah. And I mean, I also have been dealing with, I started talking about it last week, but this week it's been a big focus. Anxiety around whether or not baby B's head is up or down.
Yeah.
That's been a huge, and I've been sick for like 2.5 weeks now. I don't really think of myself as sick anymore. I don't, other than when I'm trying to sleep at night, I don't even really have a cough or stuffy nose or anything. It only pops up when I'm like sleeping. Mm-hmm. But for like 2 weeks, I was not feeling good. And then I've been having this, anxiety around the baby being breech, which means his head is still up. And they did confirm that at my last midwife appointment 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And usually they say, again, not to worry about it till 36 weeks. But yeah, it just, with how I feel personally about surgery and hospitals and all of that. It just, that's a situation where if he doesn't turn around, that
it's stressful.
They could tell me that I need a C-section.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been doing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
That's also time consuming, like going to the chiropractor 3 times a week. That's a 30-minute drive both ways.
Yeah.
And then just other random stuff at home that I've been trying to do to get him to turn around naturally.
Yeah.
And I know that it's not good, but I'm like constantly feeling and trying to figure out where he is. He moves so much that from like every 10 minutes he's in a completely different position. So even if I thought I had it figured out, 10 minutes later he'd be in a different position anyway.
Right.
We didn't have this issue at all with Knox because I've been asked several times, like, well, when did Knox turn? I don't remember because it was never brought up to me that it was an issue. So it must have been pretty early because I don't remember ever being talked to about, oh, well, he's still head up or he's anything.
Sure.
Do you?
I remember. I mean, I think it just happened naturally.
Yeah, I don't think it
never was like a concern.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when he made that turn or whatever. But again, like, yeah, it's just not something you want on your plate. But we'll see when we go in again. We go in
on
on Tuesday, which is good, and we'll see where they're at with that. The midwives feel like they have their techniques. Be like, obviously, we come to that because they don't want to add stress because so much can change from even now into 2 weeks where. He could turn. I think it's more of the mental stress that I feel like it's the idea of what could happen. And for good reason, right? Like it's your body, and like that's the last thing you want to think about.
Yeah.
So I feel for you on that one for sure.
Yeah, I think like while everyone's like social distancing themselves to stay healthy, I've been social distancing myself to just everybody's so anxious because of this whole thing. Like I have to keep myself away from it. Like I can't get sucked into these like doomsday conversations. And we talked about that yesterday. Like, hey, can you let the employees know? Like I can't be sucked into their anxiety attacks about this because I have enough. Like there are 5 million things that can go wrong in birth that I'm already worried about. Like I don't need to be like terrified of going through the Starbucks drive-through and getting like some disease, like I need to just, so I've been keeping myself away a little bit more and taking more time to myself. I think that's what's really helped me. But yesterday it was inevitable. Like we were just bombarded by everyone.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
Luckily we were able to get some good sleep because, my mom came in handy with this one. She's got her own home now. She was able to, like, Knox ended up staying.
It was so weird not to have him.
It was definitely weird.
That was the first time we've ever been sleeping at home and he hasn't been home. Like, we've had nights away from him. Mm-hmm. We've never been home without him there.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. It was sad. It was, like, a very sad...
It just felt weird.
Because even, like, right before I was going to bed, I even thought about how, like, as much as the morning routine is really hard sometimes, I do like it. I like it. It's, like...
It's your time with him.
It's our little flow, and but
or even like I noticed like I was still being like super quiet and like
absolutely.
Everything.
Yeah, absolutely. But on the bright side, the remodel's starting to come together. Like they're starting to.
Thank goodness.
They're a good crew. They really are. And they're very good with communication with us, and they're very clean. They clean up after themselves.
Mostly, yeah.
And they're crushing it.
We pretty much have our kitchen back. They just have the grout in the tile, and then that's it for our kitchen.
And he was finishing that up when I was there, which was great. And they didn't put the door in the back for like the backyard.
Oh, nice.
So it adds like so much lighting in there.
Yeah, because that was getting a little gloomy in there.
It was so cool. Like it's just all piecing along. But at the end of the day, these are all moments, and we know they will come and pass. And I think the most important thing is, I think this has shown the crew and everybody around us that, hey, we'll just keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're good. Things are good. These are moments. They're going to pass. Keep staying healthy. We're great. Life's good.
Yeah. And just for like those that are listening to this, I did want to share some of the stuff without going into too much detail. I'll go into a lot more detail with video and everything on the vlog for all of the things that I've been doing to try to turn baby B. Mm-hmm. So for me, the issue that we found through the chiropractor, and it's an issue that I've known about myself, but I didn't know that it could affect the baby's position as much as maybe it is that my round ligament, and that's like a ligament that helps it's like attaches to your uterus. Anyway, on my right side is really tight. So a lot of pregnant women, if not like all pregnant women, will experience some like round ligament pain in their pregnancies when the baby starts to grow and everything. Well, the right side is really tight for me. And in my car accident in 2012, I had some issues with my pelvis. And since then, I've had like a misaligned pelvis. And apparently, what I've learned this week is if you have a misaligned pelvis or some issues with your pelvic alignment, that it can cause one side of your round ligaments to be really wound up. Mm-hmm. And I told the chiropractor that I know that about my accident and I know that happened. And then I told the doula, she's also a chiropractor in Wisconsin. And they really think that that's what it is. Sure. So when I go to the chiropractor, one of the main things I've been doing is these chiropractic appointments where the reason I drive to someone who's so far away is because she was recommended through BirthFit because she practices what's called the Webster technique, which is they use it to do some adjustments and get your pelvis in alignment and stuff like that to help the baby get in the best position for birth. Mm-hmm. And it's like a very specific certification that they have to be able to do that. So that's why I drive so far. And she massages my round ligaments every time I go there and like trigger points them, and it doesn't feel good. I do remember I had that done when I was pregnant with Knox.
Yeah.
And I had it done much earlier, which is maybe why I didn't have the issues because my pelvis was messed up then too. But maybe because I had started it so much earlier, it was not as big of an issue. So there's that. And then Erica, our doula, she sent me some stretches to do. And then this week, by far, I've really started modifying the workouts.
Yeah.
Not because of ability or anything like that, but my hips being tight is going to add to it. So even like burpees, which I feel really good on, she suggested just the other day, like, hey, that step in and step out or jump in and jump out of the burpee, that's a real pull on the hip flexors and your round ligament and everything. So I've had to even stay off the bike as much as I normally would ride the bike. I rode the bike today, but earlier in the week I modified it. Again, like just to try to keep my hips and that whole area, psoas, all of that stuff loose. And then we did I've been doing some inversions. So I did some handstands, probably not recommended for everyone.
No. You just have the ability to.
Right. And they said, you can go for it. But so some inversions and like lying on our decline bench and, just some other stuff. And again, we'll put all of it in the vlog. But if you're listening to this, a really good resource is spinningbabies.com. And they have like all sorts of stuff in there about trying to turn your baby and doing stuff on your own and like programs you can pay for and all that kind of stuff. But I would say like 60% of the time I feel like he has turned and they're going to tell us that on Tuesday. And then the other 40%, I'm like, no, he's definitely still head up. So I have no idea at this point. But we'll definitely keep everybody updated and I'll keep doing all this stuff until they tell me that I don't need to do it anymore.
Sure.
And typically once they've turned head down, they're not going to go back up. So that's good, I guess. But yeah.
That's great. I know one of the things that I've been kind of really getting excited to, especially coming down, I just am ready to like organize Baby B's room, and kind of get that ready.
I feel so bad for little Baby B. His room is just like a storage closet.
Yeah, I feel bad, but
well, honestly, because I wasn't going to go to Vegas anyway.
Yeah.
So one of my plans while you were out of town was to do that, to organize, to just throw a bunch of stuff away, to be honest, and organize that room and go through it because it's just like one of those things that you can't do it with Knox in there.
No way. I think the only thing left now is like there might be one trip that I was going to be away from you, but it might be postponed.
I know.
But we'll see. I mean, like I said, right now every day is like another day of new information. And again, we feel good about everything. We've been keeping up, staying educated. We feel great. We feel healthy. And we're just going to continue doing what we're doing and not panic.
Yeah, and not even like... And now you like not having to worry about the members being upset. Like, sure. I mean, if they are, they are. I think most people understand that this is not at all like something that we took lightly or a choice that we wanted to make. Yeah. But then like worrying about when all of you guys come home, like, did anybody get sick? Like anything. And me and you have been pretty relaxed about it. We're not worried that much about it, but just to take one little small thing off of our to-do list, I think is a little bit of a relief.
Absolutely. For sure. Well, I think that was filled. I feel like that was a lot.
It was a lot, yeah.
But we'll keep you guys updated. We're excited to see what the update's going to be next week with everything. And but again, thank you guys for listening to this week's episode of Adventures of Alcaraz.
Bye.